more persistent. Do you have any plans for your holidays?
No, not really. Stay home.
Yeah. Well, this time of year.
Right. I don't even want to go outside because it's so cold right now.
I know. Oh man, I was just out picking up like camera equipment and stuff from Evelyn, and too cold. And it's like wet right now too.
Yeah.
Yesterday was just like frozen and really pretty. Man. Did you do anything for Thanksgiving? Just like dinner with your family?
No, just dinner. We made tamales.
Nice. Nice. I'm from Venezuela, so we also make like I call them like a sort of tamale because they kind of like look the same, but we wrap them in plantain leaves, I think it is. Yeah, and we use just like a different dough and like stuff them with like beef and chicken and pork and whatnot.
What's your favorite?
What was that? I'm sorry?
What's your favorite, beef or chicken?
I'm definitely a meat kind of gal. Yeah, I definitely love beef. I like meat. Yeah. I do love chicken though. I'm not very picky.
Right. It's like you can't really go wrong with chicken either.
Yeah, I recently started. Oh, hi, Alexia. I recently started eating fish because I've been eating sushi for a really long time, but I don't really like fish. And well, mostly like salmon. Like I just don't really know how to make like a good salmon, so I have a hard time having like a nice piece of salmon. Unless I go to like a restaurant and like buy it somewhere. Hi, Alexia. How's it going? Awesome. Alrighty, well, it is 7:01, so might as well get started. Thank you guys so much for coming. I do want to make sure that everybody's prepped and ready to go. Do you guys have your coconut oil melted and ready to go?
I'm melting mine right now.
Oh, perfect. No worries, Tori. Take your time. What about you, Alexia? Do you have your coconut oil melted? Oh, perfect. Awesome. Sounds great. Also, you guys will need a pot with just a little bit of water. I believe the instructions say about halfway, but I would do it maybe a little bit less than halfway because once you put this in there, the water like comes up. So once you guys are ready to go, I will get started and then we can get this thing rolling. Perfect. All right, just let me know when you guys are ready to go so that we are all just kind of on the same step and I don't miss you.
I'm good to go.
Perfect. Tori, Alexia?
We're ready. I'm ready at least.
Awesome. Good to go. Perfect. All right. So let's get started with, I don't know, do we need to make introductions? Hi, I'm Stephanie, if you haven't seen me around before. Thank you guys so much for coming. We are going to start off with bath bombs and then we'll move over to the candle wax. They take about, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes to do each. They're not very long, super easy. And with times like this, like they're awesome holiday gifts. So you can make just a quick candle or a bath bomb for anybody of your friends or your family and you'll be set to go. So we're gonna start off by mixing all of our dry ingredients in our big bowl that was provided. I do want to apologize beforehand. These bowls, they're a little flimsy and we'll make sure that we never buy these again. But they are really easy to break. So I apologize if any of you received a broken bowl, but luckily you can just use whatever bowl you have laying around in your house. We will be mixing the 2 cups of baking soda and 1 cup of citric acid. In the Pinterest instructions, it said that it made about 3 bath bombs, but when I did it, I was able to get 6 out of these. So that's always nice. With the whisk provided, we'll just go ahead and mix this thoroughly. Make sure that we get.
Sorry.
Did you have a question, Tori?
Oh, no, I just thought I was muted. I was just talking to my sister.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Did you do anything for the holidays, Tori, or do you have any plans for the holidays?
What was that?
Did you have any plans for the holidays?
Not really. Kind of staying in.
Yeah, I'm just baking some yummy food. Making some yummy food. Alrighty, so now that you guys have your citric acid and your baking soda mixed well, like in your bowl, we'll go ahead and move over and to the coconut oil. So we will be adding our essential oil in here, and you can do as many drops as you like. They recommend between 5 to 6, but I like mine really fragrant, so I do about like 8 to 9. Perfect. And this step is when you can go ahead and also add any food coloring if you like any, if you have any, and also your rose petals or anything that you would like to have in your bath bomb. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this super pretty lilies, beautiful orange. They come in, well, at least these ones come in bigger chunks, so I like to just separate them and cut them up into pieces. Hi, Saudi, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Hi, how are you, Steph?
Doing good. Awesome. We just got to our step where we're combining everything on our coconut oil, and we already mixed our baking soda and our citric acid in our big plastic bowls. Perfect. And then I asked on the info card, I said you guys needed also a metal spoon, and this is to not only mix your coconut oil with like your flowers and your fruit or in your scent and food coloring if you have any, but also we'll need this for our wax for our candles. So just have a metal spoon next to you so we can use it later. After doing this, we'll go ahead and just add the coconut oil to our mixture here. Hi, Gianna, welcome. And make sure you stir it thoroughly as well with your citric acid and baking soda. For this step, I also like using my hands to make sure that those clumps of coconut oil are not clumps anymore. You can continue to use your whisk, and that helps a lot too. I personally just like using my hands. I love the way the baking soda with citric acid feels. This is like one of my favorite crafts. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it one good stir with my hands to make sure that I get all of those clumps out with the coconut oil. And after this, I'm going to add a couple of drops of my witch hazel. You want to make sure that you do them a couple drops at a time so it doesn't create too much fizzing. And once you start getting a sand-like consistency, what was that game with the sand that you can, what's that game? With the sand that you can like mold sand? Moon sand, yeah, that's the one. Perfect. So after this, hi everybody, welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Just a quick little pause from this. We have already mixed our baking soda and our citric acid in our bowl. We melted our coconut oil and added I added 10 total drops of my essential oil, but you guys can do as many as you like. They recommend between 6 and 8 or around there, so you can really go crazy, have fun.
So what bag is what? So there's a bag with the fine powder, that's the baking soda, and then what else?
There's a bag with baking soda, and there's a bag with citric acid, and then there's a bag with coconut oil, and then you will also have a bag with candle wax. Are you able to find them, Adriana?
Yeah, we're fine.
Hello, did you have a question?
So just add all of them, or we need to wait?
You can go ahead and pour in the baking soda and the citric acid. And you just mix it together with your whisk. And after you do that, you put your coconut oil with your essential oil and the flowers that you decide to add into your bath bombs in here, and then just dump it over. And then with your whisk, you're gonna make sure that all that is mixed.
Which one is the citric acid? Is it the one that looks like sugar?
Yeah, the one that looks like sugar is the citric acid. And the other white one is the baking soda. I also apologize for not labeling those. We'll make sure to do that on our next Coug pack. And your witch hazel is the one that comes in this little bottle. Now I'm gonna add about 3 drops at a time. For the witch hazel, I do anywhere between 5 to 7, just because I like that really thick consistency. So I would definitely do 2 to 3 drops at a time, depending what your preference is. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Sorry I'm late. My class just ended.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Thank you so much for joining us. Alrighty. Now, same thing with the witch hazel. I like to just use my hands and make sure that everything is mixed thoroughly and that I have that sand-like consistency, moon sand consistency. And for those that just joined us, do you guys have any questions on the steps that we're on or the previous steps?
Yes, what did you guys do so far? Are you making the bath bombs or are you making the...
We're currently making the bath bombs. So what we did is we mixed our dry ingredients like the citric acid and the baking soda. The citric acid is the one that kind of feels like salt or sugar.
Mm-hmm.
The baking soda is the other white one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and you mix that in your bowl with your whisk. And after that, we go over to our coconut oil. So make sure that your coconut oil is melted, and that's where you add your fragrance, like the essential oil and the flowers or anything that you decide to add to your bath bomb. And now we just mix through. You're welcome to use your whisk. Like I said, I like using my hands because not only do I love the texture of this, I think it's just super calming and relaxing. I also want to make sure that I get through all the spots and crevices and everything.
I should pour everything inside, the baking soda and the citric acid.
Yes, both of those things. The other bag is just the bag of wax that we'll be using for our next project.
Okay, so I'm gonna mix the baking soda, the citric acid, and all the coconut oil, right?
And the what, I'm sorry?
And all of the coconut oil.
Yes, all of the melted coconut oil.
Okay.
But before you add in the coconut oil to your mix, make sure that you put your fragrance on your coconut oil so that you can mix that and it'll give you better results.
Do we add do we add both baggies of fragrance or only one baggie of fragrance?
You can have however many you'd like. We definitely gave you more flowers than what you'll actually need for your individual bath bombs, but we wanted to give you enough so that you could put as many as you like. I myself just put 3 to 4 petals in here, and I just cut them up into pieces. Perfect. So now that we have the consistency where we want it, and I'll give you guys a couple of minutes for this to catch up and just get it where you need it to be.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Really quickly. So I have the bag with, I think it's coconut oil, right? So do I need to melt it like fully or?
Yeah, I would recommend putting it in the microwave for maybe like 15 seconds and checking on it. You want to make sure that it's completely melted so that you can add your essential oil. Mix that up and then put that in your mix.
Okay, I have a quick question. I'm so sorry.
No worries, no worries.
The plastic bottle with the white cap that's clear and has no label, what is that?
That's the witch hazel.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And the witch hazel will come in after you mix your dry ingredients with your coconut oil. After you mix that, we'll put in a couple of drops of witch hazel at a time to create that sand-like texture, moon sand texture. I recommend doing about 3 drops at a time and checking to see if that's the consistency that you'd like. You definitely want it to be something that molds in your hands easily, but you don't want to put too much witch hazel because then it just ruins the consistency of your bath bomb. Alrighty, now that we've got the consistency that we want to go ahead and move over with our molds. What I like to do just to make them look pretty and nice is I grab a petal from the flowers provided and I just cut them up into pieces and put them right here at the bottom so that they're kind of just like the first layer, and once we put them all together, it gives it a lot of like color and dimension. The way that I'm molding my bath bomb is that I'm doing 1 layer at a time, and I make sure that it's really packed in there, and I use my fingers to pack around the mold, and then I add another layer. So I want to make sure that there are no air bubbles. Once you get the first top half filled, I like to put just a little bit extra so that when we grind them together, there's no air bubbles. Perfect. Now we're moving on with our next one. You can also go ahead and put rose petals or anything you like in between your layers of your bath bomb, and that'll give you a nice little surprise when you're taking a relaxing hot bath. I'm gonna put some in the bottom here.
Excuse me.
Yes, how can
I added the citric acid, the baking soda, and the coconut oil. And is that supposed to look like still mushy, or I don't know, still dry?
Yeah, it's supposed to have a sand-like texture or kind of moon sand, something that you can mold easily into your hands.
Okay.
When you mix the coconut oil with your dry ingredients, the baking soda and the citric acid.
Should I heat up the rest of the ingredients?
No, just the coconut oil to melt it.
Okay. And after that, I should add the rose petal and the essential oil. Am I correct?
Yeah, in the bowl provided to you, the small plastic bowl, that's where you mix your coconut oil with your essential oils and your flower petals.
I just added directly to the.
That's okay. It's no problem. You can add it directly to the mix as well and add the fragrance to that if you'd like some as well.
So how many essential oil should we add?
8 to 10 drops.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Perfect. Alrighty, now that I am here on this step, does anybody else have any other questions? Are we almost caught up? Are we good to go? Do we need to go over something?
So are we just filling like the halves right now?
Yeah, we're just filling the halves, and you want to make sure that you pat down like layer by layer so that you don't have any air bubbles. But yeah, for now we're just filling the halves, and then after that is done, we're just gonna clump them together just like this and just kind of move them in half circular motions so that
I
they
have a quick
eventually.
question. So the essential oil, it goes in with the coconut oil, right? I'll just put in a few drops, or how many drops should I put in there?
For the essential oil, it's recommended to do anywhere between 5 to 7 drops. But I personally like it really fragrant, so I put in a total of 10 drops, and that's what I like. So you can do as many as you like, but at least a minimum of 5, I would say, in order to get that nice smell.
Okay, thank you. Just because it didn't say on the direction, so I was like, I don't know. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, no worries, no worries. Perfect. And then with these molds, once we have our halves, we're just gonna go ahead and put them together. If your molds don't close because you have like a top and a bottom, that's okay. The way that these came packaged, they didn't specify what sides were tops and bottoms. So when we were packing them, we just assumed that they would, like the left ones were tops and the right ones were bottoms kind of thing. So you have some that don't close correctly because they're both tops or both bottoms. There's no need to worry. These are going to dry in the mold and they're going to dry together. So you can just grab them and put them to the side, let them dry for about an hour or even longer. And then when you're ready to use them, you can just go ahead and take them out and you have your bath bomb ready. If you're not going to use it right away, you can just put it in parchment paper. Let them hang on in the counter. I put them in a Ziploc bag and I haven't had any issues with them either. So however you'd like to store them. But yeah, you end up with a nice little bath bomb that has cute little layers and colors. Perfect Christmas tree ornaments. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to get that going and set it aside, and then we'll get started on our candle making. Alrighty, are we all ready to move on to the next step with the candle making? You're welcome to put this mold ingredients to the side, and once you're ready to continue doing your other molds, you can just massage it with your hands or with a whisk to just get that squishy consistency going again, because they do dry out if you leave it out for too long. I provided 3 molds to make 3 bath bombs. That's what the ingredients on Pinterest said, but I found out that I could make about 6 molds, like 6 different bath bombs. So what you can do is you can just reuse your molds once your other bath bombs have dried, and you can have a couple more to enjoy. Perfect. Now we're setting this to the side. And now we want to make sure that we have our other set of ingredients. So I'll go down that list. Alrighty. Perfect. Now your other set of ingredients, you want to make sure that you have a pot filled with a little bit of water. It does say to have it halfway, but I would recommend doing a little less than halfway, because once you put this pot in there, the water will get higher. You have your mason jar. You have a candle wick. Most of your candle wicks should have came with a sticker like this one that goes attached to the mason jar and the candle wick. But if you didn't get a sticker with it, you can also use a pencil to hold your candle wick in place. And if anybody needs help figuring out the pencil thing, go ahead and let me know and I can show you guys how. Also, we will want our candle wax, which is our other bag of dry ingredient, and it's this candy-like material. They're flaky, the ones you guys got. And our handy dandy thermometer. Perfect. Alrighty, are we ready to move on to the next step? Thumbs up, yes, awesome, sounds great. So in the instructions, when I looked this up and did my research, everybody was really specific about the temperature that your wax got at, and like when you added your essential oil and then when you poured it on your mason jar. So when we are turning on our stove, we want to make sure, so we'll have this pot full of water or with a little bit of water, and then we'll have our heat resistant pitcher with nothing inside. And this is where we'll be putting our wax. So just put it in the water and let it warm up for a little bit. We want to make sure that our wax gets to 185 degrees Fahrenheit before we add our essential oil. Same thing with essential oil. They recommend, for a candle, they do recommend 7 to 10. I did a little bit more just because I like mine really fragrant, so it's totally up to you. I would definitely do them 5 to 7 at a time, maybe, so that you don't have something that's too strong for your taste. This is the one that's on. It's not my kitchen, so I just gotta make sure. The wax does take a second to melt for the water to like heat up and whatnot. So you can keep working on your bath bombs and molding those if you'd like, or you can chat with me, tell me about the holidays. We're just hanging out. Is everybody ready for finals?
Do we put the wax, the wick on the jar already?
Oh yeah, we can go ahead and do that. We can move on over to that step. So in your mason jar provided, also, little FYI, same thing, when I read these instructions before I tried the project myself, it said that 1 cup of wax would be enough to fill up an 8-ounce candle. For me, that wasn't the case. It filled it up about halfway, but wax is really easy to find in the store. So if you wanted to make more candles or put, make a bigger candle, we did provide you with 2 mason jars, and you're welcome to do that on your own time as well. So with this little sticker that was provided to you in your Coug pack, you're going to go ahead and peel off one side, or peel off both sides. And on one side, you'll put your candle wick so that it sticks on there. And then the other side will be in the bottom of your mason jar. And try to center it as much as possible. And it should look something like this. And you'd be set to go.
Oh, I just had an idea. You can also make funny shaped bath bombs if you have like little Ziploc bags, and just use like a little like a zip tie or something to make it smaller. And
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. You can mold it however you'd like, and with a Ziploc bag, you can, put it in the Ziploc bag and just mold it however you like and wait for it to dry that way. So that's another option. Thank you, Adriana. You can also use, I mean, anything that's moldable, really, like anything around the house that's mold-like. And just have fun with it, add different little flowers and scents, some bath safe accessories, maybe. I wouldn't recommend glitter because glitter, one, it's not fun, or unless it's like special body glitter, the ones that they use like in your actual bath bombs. I just would be careful with that. 'Cause I personally don't know the difference between them, and I'd hate to just have glitter stuck all over me in my bathtub for days and days.
Yeah, there's also some biodegradable glitter that I think can be used, so even if it goes down the drain, it's not like polluting.
Yeah, that's the one. See, there you go. You definitely want to get some biodegradable one. And I mean, I wouldn't trust myself with glitter anyways, but if you guys are more than welcome to just get crazy and fancy with it. I've seen candles, like ideas for candles all over the internet that they use sprinkles, like colored sprinkles, and they just tap them around the mason jar, and they use like coconut oil to get them like a little sticky, and then they pour their candle and it just looks like a birthday cake candle. I thought those are really fun too. My candle wax is slowly coming along. How's everybody else's doing? It's still pretty solid, but it'll get there. Did anybody have any questions with the bath bombs or what our next steps are going to be with the candle making?
Is citric acid something you're able to get readily, or is that something you have to go to like a specialty store?
Citric acid, you can get it anywhere too. I actually, weirdly enough, you can get it at Walmart, like in store purchase. You can only get it online. I'm not sure if that's just because there's like scarcity or COVID, or I don't know. I couldn't really tell you why you can't find it in store, but they use it for everything. They use it for baths, for cooking, for scents. So yeah, I got like 5-pound bags off of like Amazon. The flowers, I got them off of this online website off of Amazon. I bought them just in bulbs. But aren't they amazing? They smell so good, and they come in pretty like good sizes, like amount wise. I also got these. So I have lilies and albizia flowers, and they're just gorgeous. I'm wanting to put them in my bathroom with like over some rocks, and then just throw in like a couple drops of like essential oil to just keep my bathroom like smelling nice all the time. Love doing things like that. So you can use the rest of them and maybe buy a couple more and dry your flowers out.
So I was able to manage to make a little ball instead of a plastic baggie. If anybody wants to see,
Oh, beautiful.
for my extra mixture.
Oh, cool. You just did it with like your hands and just put it in the plastic bag?
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah. And just let it dry and you'll be able to like use it by in an hour, honestly. It doesn't take very long to dry.
Yeah, so maybe you can also do this with like plastic wrap too. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe do like some sort of like sculpture and then wrap it around in plastic wrap and let it dry. And
Yeah, if you want to make one of those shaped ones, then totally go at it.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Tori, you think your wax is almost done? Awesome. Once your wax starts getting to that consistency where you can see that it's almost completely melted, go ahead. Mine is not there yet, so I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes. But if you are, you can go ahead and grab your thermometer and just stick it in there and make sure that it's 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine needs a little bit more work. Does anybody else have any other plans for the holidays or any favorite dish they like to make that they'd like to share with us? Any fun fact? Just, you know.
I think after this, I'm just gonna give everybody bath bombs.
Yeah, it's so easy and they come out looking so pretty. Like it's just the cheapest, easiest thing to do. And it's 2 parts baking soda, 1 part citric acid, and then I think we did 4 tablespoons was the original recipe. But I'll have to look that over again. I'll make sure to post that on social media or a website or something to make sure that everybody has, you know, the recipe. You can also go on Pinterest really and just look up bath bomb recipes and they're all pretty much the same. But yeah, super easy. Same thing with candles. I did not know candle making was so easy. Perfect. I'm getting down to those last couple of chunks of wax to melt. And I'll be almost set to go. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and measure my temperature to make sure that it's at least 185 degrees Fahrenheit. There we go. And now that my wax is all melted, I'm going to go ahead and just turn off my stove so that my wax can start cooling down a little bit. We want to wait for it to cool down to about 135 degrees in order to pour it into our glass jar to make sure that it's not too hot and your glass doesn't end up cracking. This is pretty thick glass is the word I'm looking for. But I'm no scientist, so I definitely would not want to risk it. So just follow the instructions like Pinterest told me so, and you should be good to go. I'm gonna remove this from my hot stove top so it cools down a little faster. What was that?
So I should just melt the wax, that's it? And then cool it down and then pour it in the jar.
You did what? I'm sorry.
What?
What did you say? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. So what we should do is just melt the wax and then wait for it to cool down and then pour into a mason jar. Should we add anything else?
Yeah, so that'll be the next step. So once your wax has cooled down to 135 degrees, that's when you'll be able to add in your fragrance, so your essential oil. And here, yes, here they recommend 7 to 10 drops. I like doing a little bit more because I like mine a little bit more fragrant, but it's definitely up to you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, of course, of course. Perfect. So now that my wax has cooled down a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and measure it again, make sure that it's around 135 degrees. Beautiful. And I'm going to add my drops of essential oil. And I want to make sure that it's all mixed thoroughly in there. So I'm just going to pick this up and just kind of swirl it around. You can also use a spoon, your metal spoon, to mix it as well, but it's a little bit easier. Before you pour your candle wax into your candle, you can also go ahead and add your flowers as decorations if you wanted some maybe on the side or even just mixed in with the rest of your so I'm going to do some here at the bottom, and then I'm going to throw some at the top too, and just hopefully they won't mix as much and it'll just be in layers. If you want real layers with your candle, I would suggest pouring in a little bit at a time and just waiting about maybe 15 to 20 minutes for the first layer of wax to settle, cool down a little bit, and then you'll have to probably reheat your wax, but it's super easy, so it's not a big deal. All right, so now I'm going to carefully pour on my wax. Oh, look at her go. Beautiful. Perfect. And you'll have your wick just kind of standing. Make sure you don't pull on it too much like I just did and have it come off of your metal thing. But yeah, you should be all set. Even then, like even if you do pull it off like I did, you can just go ahead and use the pencil. And I'm gonna use my thermometer, but you can use a pencil and just like wrap it around and have something to just like hold it down for a little bit until it cools off. Just gonna let it hang there. All right. Perfect. And you guys are officially certified candle and bath bomb makers. You can work at Lush now, so that's fun. You guys are all set to go. Did we have any questions? Is anybody on the last step and you'd like to show off your final creations?
No, I just wanted to say thank you. This was really fun. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for participating and being here with me. Doing little like crafts like this is honestly like my favorite thing in the world. I could sit down and paint and make bath bombs and candles all day long. If you see me on a Pinterest magazine somewhere someday, just know it all started here with you guys.
Okay, see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Alrighty, well, if you guys are all good to go, you're more than welcome to leave. If you'd like to show off your creations, you can do that as well. In order to enter the giveaway of the $50 worth of meditation equipment, meaning you can purchase anything within candles, scented oils, yoga mats, like anything that makes you relax is all fair game. $50 worth. Take a picture, post it on Seb or your page and tag Seb WCTC. Also fill out the survey that was sent to you on your email in order to participate, and all of those things will get you entered.
Will it be a giveaway or will it be like people will vote to see which one they like more?
It'll be a giveaway for this one, yes. So I will go ahead and put in all the names in a random random name picker, and that's how we'll get that done.
I just want to show mine really quick.
Yeah, of course, please.
So I did just like a bunch of rose petals, and they're kind of separating, so it looks cool. So I hope they stay that way and they don't all float to the top.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's kind of like a little...
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you so much, guys, really, for just participating. This is the last Coug of the semester. So you guys, good luck on your finals. Hope you guys do super awesome. I know it's been a different semester than most, but we're almost there and we're almost done. So I'm excited to share with you guys our Coug packs for next semester. We'll have our survey ready to go here in a couple of weeks for you guys to sign up before school starts, and hopefully they're just as fun as these were. Awesome. Well, you guys have a good night, and thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, Steph.
Thank you, Saudi. Have a good one.